what I'd like to do is I'd like to, so that I get all my thought process out in one shot.
Yeah.
I'd like to read a prepared statement.
Go right ahead.
And then, you
Then
can
we can talk all about it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
State Representative Joe Trillo, former State Representative Joe Trillo.
I feel that my message is more of a populist message. I want to appeal to the average hardworking person who has been forgotten and sold out by elected officials. I know the forgotten man. And this has been my concern since getting into politics. To win with my message in Rhode Island, I will need Democratic support, a lot of independent support, and Republicans. I feel this can only be accomplished by shedding party politics and running as an independent. As your governor, in order to get things done, it will be necessary to have an understanding of how to work with Democrats, which I have been able to do for the past 16 years in the House of Representatives. Rather than just claiming to be able to do this, as candidates often do, I have the real experience working across party lines. While I have strong ideas about fiscal discipline and limited government, I also believe we need to take care of our most vulnerable people. I want to bring prosperity that President Trump is bringing to our country, have here to our great state. To do this, I need to be on the ballot in November. I strongly believe that the best way to fix our great state for all Rhode Islanders is to run as someone with no ties to any political party and to be on the ballot as a choice for every voter, not just primary voters. I can only accomplish this by running as an independent. Rhode Island will have a choice between the same old politics and politicians or vote to drain the Rhode Island swamp. Rhode Island will have a choice between insiders and an outsider who's beholden to no special interest, but who has the experience and popular vote to change our broken system. As President Reagan said on the eve of his election, it's time to get government off our backs and out of our pockets, something he did first in California, then in our country. Among my objectives as governor would be to root out waste and fraud in our health and services budget, shed the image of a sanctuary state, make Rhode Island a more business-friendly state by reducing unnecessary regulations which hurt small and large businesses and keep jobs out of our state. Shrink government through attrition. This can only be done by going through each agency and getting rid of redundant departments, obsolete departments, and ineffective areas. To do this, I will appoint a team of investigators to be run out of the governor's office to work to reduce taxes that would help keep people from leaving our state, such as the estate tax, the state income tax, as well as stop taxing pensions. I would work to lower the state sales tax rate to 5.5% to attract commerce back to Rhode Island. I would have a sales tax holiday on the same day that Massachusetts holds one. I will work to reform our schools by putting discipline back in the classroom and protecting teachers from legal abuse, from instilling discipline. Also support separate bilingual classes to allow non-English speaking students to be taught English. On the subject of police, I would stop tying the hands of our police departments. Under the guise of profiling, we have removed common sense, logic, and good judgment. Let's let the police be police. As a key initiative, I will work to eliminate the state-mandated car inspections. Only 19 states have it, and studies show they impose undue costs without significant impact of safety. Having these inspections hurts low-income people the hardest, not to mention the burden of additional costs on our middle class. Infrastructure. I would rebuild our city and town roads, impose stricter penalties for animal abuse, and perhaps more importantly, work with the Trump administration to bring more federal dollars to Rhode Island. As your governor, I will bring real change to this state, making it attractive for business investment, which will create new jobs. I will fight to eliminate our crony politics and corporate welfare of the past, rather than expanding government. I will be a tireless fighter for hard-working citizens who have been forgotten and sold out by our elected officials. While candidates for governor declare their intentions to bring change, whether Democrat or Republican, few have the political will to fight and make that tough decision. I will. What matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. As your governor, I will work and fight every day to bring that change to Rhode Island.
So there you go.
So there you go.
The bomb just dropped.
Well, call it a bomb, whatever you want to call it.
Joe Trillo, state representative. How long have you been a Republican?
I've been a Republican a long time, maybe 20 years.
You have just left the party.
Correct.
Is that official? Have you signed the papers? Are you now unaffiliated? You're going to do that soon? What are you going to do?
I will do that soon, but there's no immediate rush to do that. I will do that.
I'm going to ask you to take us through your thought process on this whole thing, but just let me ask you, just out of curiosity, did anybody in the Republican Party know you were going to do this until you came in today?
Within the establishment party, I would say nobody knew. A lot of Republicans helped me make this decision.
You didn't call Brandon Bell and give him a courtesy call, say, by the way, I'm just about to leave the party?
I did not.
You didn't tell Alan Fung, Patricia Morgan, I'm about to leave this?
I did not. I feel in many ways my Republican Party left me, and that goes at a national level. Here's the way I look at politics today, Matt. I think we have four parties operating right now in this country. We have the Democrat Party that has the progressives and has the normal Democrats. And the progressives are trying to take over the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. And we have in the Republican Party, we have the standard Republicans, and then we have the Trump Republicans. I've been a Trump Republican since he announced in 2015. I happen to think if you look at his policies and what he's been able to accomplish so far, he's turning this country around. I want to take that philosophy, those kind of issues, and I want to bring them to this state and turn this state around.
So you're saying that the Republican Party in Rhode Island is not Trump enough?
It's not. It's not. Everybody's been on if you look at what happened, nobody came on the Trump train until he won the primary. Everybody was with somebody else. And once he won the primary, then they all got on board the Trump train.
You know, this is going to be, I would imagine there's a lot of people out there in the Republican Party. I'm not a Republican, so I'm not trying to speak for them, but I'll try and get in their head a little bit, who are shocked at this. Have you ever expressed, maybe insiders know this stuff and I don't, do Republicans know that you have displeasure with the party? Are people going to listen to this and going, what the hell happened to Joe? Where'd he go?
I mean, that's only one aspect of why I'm making this decision. I really believe that my message needs to go out, and it needs the support of Democrats that voted for President Trump. 49% of the people in Rhode Island are unaffiliated voters. They're independent voters. So I'm joining the independent party. That's what I'm doing. And 11% of them are Republicans. So if you go into a primary, you're going to have about 30,000 people voting in this primary. Why do you have 30,000 people making a decision who's going to go against the Democrat when 400,000 people have an opportunity to vote? It's less.
Well, we have open primaries. Anybody can go in there and vote. Anybody can pick a primary and go into and vote.
Democrats can't.
Well, no, not if you're a registered Democrat, but that's why that's probably why we have such a large percentage of unaffiliated voters, is that people want the freedom to do what they want to do in the middle of a primary, right? So what do you say to people? I'm already getting the emails. He just gave Gina Raimondo the election.
Well, I disagree. I think
the concept being that you'll split the vote with whoever the Republican nominee might be.
And you think I didn't think of that, being in politics?
Well, no, I'm sure you have an answer for it.
My answer is very simple. Give me a shot in this general election, and listen to my message is going to be different from the typical politicians that ride the fence in the middle. You know, you were talking about what's going on in the schools now, how kids can that's ridiculousness that's going on in the schools. Under my administration, I want somebody that's going a superintendent of schools that's going to stick up for the teachers. Let's let the teachers teach, and let's not remove teachers because two students who don't want to take an exam tomorrow are going to get this teacher removed from the classroom. What's going on is political correctness. I want to wipe it right out.
What are you going to say to those teachers who you've been whacking at the General Assembly with speeches? They got plenty of tape of you going after unions, going after their pay, going after their rules. I mean, you've been one of the more anti-public union guys in the state. In terms of as a Republican, I mean, this is you think they're all going to forget about that?
No,
Explain that to me.
Nothing's changing. The fact that I want to listen to somebody and basically try to understand their cause, I'm not going to be any different than I've ever been. I think the unions have a lot of power in this state. But I also think that they're a major force. They need to be dealt with, and you need to know how to deal with them. And I think I have that ability to do that.
So you think that the Trumpian, it's Trump Republican? Define what a Trump Republican is. Explain that to me. We tell everybody what it is. That way we know where you're coming from.
It's a populist person who believes that the average hardworking people have really been taken advantage of. They've been overtaxed. They've been taken advantage by government. They've been forgotten by government. They have no representation in government. It's all the radical groups, either on the left or on the far right, that really get anything done. So they don't have a voice. They feel like they don't have a voice.
Do you think the average Rhode Islander sees a Trump supporter as a moderate person?
I think they should, because I think Trump is very much a moderate person. I don't think he's radical to the right, and I don't feel like I'm a radical right-wing nut. I don't think I am. I think I'm a moderate in terms of my social policies. I'm moderate. In terms of my fiscal policies, I'm to the right.
We were talking about before about the Democrats who voted for Trump and whatnot. There's been a split in the Democrat Party.
Correct.
You have, that's kind of been one of the things as of late. Joe DiLorenzo, whatever his second vice chair, whatever he was in the party.
What happened to him?
They drummed him out.
Yeah, they drummed him out because what? He made a common sense comment about where the Democratic Party's going. And that's the kind of craziness that's going on. So I want to appeal to all those Democrats who agree with Joe DiLorenzo, and there's a lot of them out there, that the Democratic Party is going too far to the left. And Gina Raimondo is as far as you can get to the left.
What are you going to do in terms of appealing to those people out there? You see yourself as kind of being, I think there was a big population in the United States in certain places where it was very effective, of people who didn't want to talk about being a Trump supporter. Do you think we're going to have a bunch of Democrats out there who are going to go, yeah, I'm for Gina, and then they go into the voting booth, Joe Trillo all the way?
I think you could have some of that, absolutely.
I would hope you, before you made this kind of decision, you did that legwork to figure out and talk to people. Do you have a bunch of conservative Democrats waiting to go and to be pro Trillo in this situation?
I have a lot of conservative Democrats that I've had this conversation with on many occasions, and they are willing to help me in this campaign. And I'm not going to put out their names right now, so don't ask me. I've also got a lot of Republicans who are well aware that I've been thinking about doing this, who are going to support me in this campaign.
So do you think you're going to have this exodus from both sides to come out and join the new Joe Trillo unaffiliated campaign?
I don't know if I would call it an exodus from both sides, as much as I'm hoping that I can appeal to the average hardworking people, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're an unaffiliated independent, or whether you're a Republican, who gets it. I'm not politics as usual. I'm for radical change in this state. This state is going in the toilet, and it can't get deeper in it fast enough. You elect Gina Raimondo, you elect Alan Fung, you got the same old stuff going to happen. Go along. Politics as usual.
Joe Trillo announced he's running for governor as an independent or as an unaffiliated person. We don't have an independent party here.
No.
But you're not going to be Republican, not Democrat. You're going to be unaffiliated. When are you going to disaffiliate from the Republican Party?
I don't know. As soon as I have the time to go into the board of canvassers. It's been busy.
Joe Trillo's in studio. We'll come back. I got a lot more questions. Joe Trillo just dropped a political bomb that makes things a lot different for a lot of people. We'll come back. We'll talk to more about that next on The Matt Allen Show.